I'll let you start it off first. Who do you want to start with? Where do you want to go? This is your list, your report card. I want you to take the reins on it.
Yeah. So on my lovely Heisman report card, I made this lovely little cute little graphic on here. And I'm going to talk about first. Let's get all the bad stuff out the way first. And I'm going to save Arch for last for everybody. But Cade Klubnik, I mean, this dude, number 1 overall pick that we had coming in, he did not look good at all against that LSU team. Now, LSU's defense last year, horrible. LSU's defense this year, I mean, they got some bite to them. And he didn't perform notably too well like a first overall pick would, a Heisman hopeful would. Like, this is getting on the territory of Carson Beck. Like
19 of 38, 230, 1 pick.
Yep. No touchdowns.
Nope.
So that's not good. That's not. And the notable stats that we have, because we're going to talk about some players that lost their first game. Only 2 players since 2000 have ever lost their first game and won the Heisman. And I would put an asterisk actually next to those 2 players. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman but lost his first game, but he threw for over 350 some yards. That's good. And he also played against I believe that was an undefeated Florida State team that year. And after that, you had Johnny Manziel. Now, Johnny Manziel's first game got postponed against Louisiana Tech. He would have won. And the first game, he had over 200 yards of all-purpose yards, and he only lost to a very good Florida Gators team that year by 3 points. Cade Klubnik, did not look at all like himself, did not look like a first overall pick would. And on top of that, when you win the Heisman, notable Heisman winners have Heisman moments, you would say. And usually it's against a very good team. Like Lamar Jackson when he destroyed Florida State. Like Heisman moment. When Johnny Manziel beat Alabama. Heisman moment. And that also if you were to go Joe Burrow beating Texas, smoking them big time. Heisman moment. Cade Klubnik, this is a Heisman moment game. You're kicking off the game against a very, probably the 3rd best or a top 3 team in the SEC overall. They also have a quarterback, so you're going to be compared to him that whole game. And, he did not look good at all, did not look like the first overall pick. Now, granted, you're in a weird spot because this is kind of like preseason territory for college football, because there are some teams that play against a team that's an FBS opponent or very lower ranked team as their first game. And I commend teams that go out and do play tough opponents week 1. But I am also on the side that if I was a coach, I would always treat week 1 as preseason. And I will play a way smaller team because I would rather work out the kinks through those games than I don't know who I am. And I also don't know who that team is too. And I do not know if that's a good telltale sign of what my team may be and how to improve my team. This LSU team also, last year, they weren't that notably good. They lost a very notable game against Texas A&M. Texas A&M wasn't a good team last year. So how do you know that this LSU team doesn't go 7-5, and then that's the first game you lost to, and then Clemson goes undefeated the rest of the year? What? You don't really have a good temperature gauge on that. But Cade Klubnik to me is getting a D on this report card. Garrett Nussmeier now on the opposite end was the big determining factor of why they won. It wasn't a good showing for him stat-wise. He made the correct plays. He played it safe, and I'm giving him a B+ on this one. He had, I think, 170 yards passing and a touchdown.
Stand by. 28 of 38, 230, 1 touchdown.
Yep, 230. So against it, mind you, this is a very good Clemson defense.
133.2 passer rating.
Yep, that very good stats. So that's even though there's nothing showy about it, if you see you only won by 17 points, you don't think oh, he probably didn't light them up. But that's a very good Clemson defense. It's a very good overall team. And I'm giving him a solid B+. That could be kind of your Heisman moment, but that would be a very lackluster year if that's your Heisman moment is that game. Now going into the notable guys that I would say that were on the positive ends of this. John Mateer or Mater. I don't know how to really pronounce his name correctly for Oklahoma. Oh my God, this dude dotted up that defense that he played against. Oklahoma was firing on all cylinders. I believe he had an interception in this game, but he had 4 total touchdowns.
Yep,
Over 300.
30 of 37, 392
Yep.
passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
And then he had a touchdown on the rushing touchdown.
Yep, 7 carries, 24 yards, and a touchdown.
So 4 total touchdowns. I mean, like, dude, 30 for 38. That's insane. Like, great notable game. And on top of that, why he comes from Washington State, and his offensive coordinator also came with him to Oklahoma. So it isn't like a plug and play guy. Like, this is us Oklahoma's old offense. No, like, they really went out and found a very good marriage, I would say, with offensive coordinator and quarterback. He doesn't have to learn anything. So he's not like coming into a new scheme. He's just literally doing what he was doing at Washington State. And he's surrounded by a top 10 talented team. And I think Oklahoma's always had a history of great quarterbacks. And John Mateer has looked exactly the part. He's getting an A. Like, this is what you kind of want Heisman hopefuls to look like week 1 on the much more positive end. Dante Moore for the Oregon Ducks. I mean, they played against a very weaker opponent, but at the same time, it's kind of like how we said about housekeeping. You're just working out all the kinks. Week 1 that's what you just got to figure out.
Montana State, I mentioned them earlier.
Yes. So Montana State, yeah, he looked really well. Nothing too notable. Like, there wasn't like a crazy stat line of his.
18 of 23, 213, 3 touchdowns.
Yep. And then look very solid. I mean, Oregon is going to look really good this whole season. He's probably their best quarterback they've had since probably, I'm going to say, like, Marcus Mariota in sort of offensive skill set. Like, Bo Nix is very talented. He's always been very talented. I just think, like, especially on the running aspect of this game, like, Dante Moore is up there. And also notably, Dante Moore was on that same recruiting class as Arch Manning that we'll get to at the end of this. Tommy Castellanos,
former BC guy.
So he gets a B-, and a lot of people are like, well, he beat Alabama. So the B- kind of goes with them beating Alabama, not based on his stat line. So he has no passing touchdowns. They kind of were very much a run-heavy first offense. His passing stats did not look that well, and he did have a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, 9 for 14, 152. 16 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty ho-hum, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I said B-. Like, he gets more on the positive end because he beat Alabama, not because of his stat line. And especially, like, he wasn't a notable factor. Like, 9 for 14. Like, that means you're, like, dang near not passing the ball, and they're probably knew, hey,
the Mac Jones ass stat line.
You're essentially saying, like, hey, this dude's way better on his feet, like, way better of a threat on their feet than on his feet. And then obviously with the zone run scheme, like the RPOs and stuff like that. So I'm giving him a B-. But notable win for, like, them as well too, Florida State. Jaden Maiava and these last 2 guys, they're not necessarily Heisman hopeful guys. I just want to
guys you want to talk about, yeah.
Yeah, Jaden Maiava, I mean, former UNLV guy. He put up really good stats for them, but he comes to USC and he looks great. Now, granted, this is also a USC team that I don't really know what to make of. And let's say their current head coach is the guy who made Baker Mayfield a Heisman winner. He made Kyler Murray a Heisman winner. And he also made Caleb Williams a Heisman winner. The dude just makes Heisman winning guys, so I'm not shocked.
Yeah, Maiava, 15 of 18, 295, 2 touchdowns through the air.
1 on the ground.
And then 2 carries, 9 yards, and a score on the ground. So 3 on the day, over 300 all purpose. Pretty low volume through the air, I would say, but efficient nonetheless.
Oh, yeah.
And their backup went 9 for 9, scored a touchdown on poor Missouri State.
Yeah, and like I said, like, it's these games you can see what they did right and what they didn't. Like, you're not asking him to, like, hey, bro, I need you to throw 30 times this game. Like, if you're efficient, you get the job done. That's all we care about. And he looked very efficient and looked very good. And I would put him on the Heisman. I would put him at the very low end of Heisman hopeful because I don't really know what to make of this USC team. And if they somehow get to double-digit wins, and his stat lines look like that throughout the year, based on also who they play against, he is going to be in the top 5 conversation by the end of the year, 100%. And lastly, Jerron, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to JKS. He's a true freshman at Cal. This dude had looked amazing. This Cal team, mind you, lost their quarterback last year. Devin Brown, former Ohio State quarterback, transfers in. Everybody believed he was just going to take the job. This true freshman comes in.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jerron,
stand by. I'm going to try to find
Jerron Q. Is it like Quay?
I'm going to try to find a pronunciation.
Sagapolotuli.
That might be close.
Sagapolotule. I'm probably sorry, all of my Polynesian people out there. But he looks like a straight up stud, bro. Like, and his stat line that game too, because mind you, they played against I don't know if Oregon State's in conference game for them. Because I don't know what the Pac-2 or what the Pac-12 used to be, what is and what isn't now, or if Cal's in the ACC, I think this year still. But they played against Oregon State. Oregon State's a decent team. I had Oregon State beating them this year because they got the former Duke transfer, Malik Murphy, who was, I believe, a former UT guy who's starting over there. And Malik is really notable, good. Like, he's a very above average starting quarterback for the Duke Blue Devils, and now goes to Oregon State. I had them winning, and this dude comes in and straight up looks like a stud.
I got a pronunciation, I think.
Here we go.
Jaren Kawi Polutele.
Yep. That dude's a stud, bro. If you could read off his stats, like this dude, I think I have him right here, actually.
I'm never going to get that. JKS.
20 for 30, 66% completion, 3 total touchdowns, 234 yards.
Solid.
True freshman going against Oregon State. 34-15 win. Like, he's absolutely looking like a stud already for Cal. And like I said, they were going to experience relatively a setback because they lost their starting quarterback from last year. And remember, that was a team that almost beat Miami last year. And they get Devin Brown, like I said, a former Ohio State quarterback there. And everybody believed that Devin Brown was going to automatically start. And this dude comes in and is a straight stud. 6'3", 225 pounds. He looks like Tua if Tua put on good weight.
Also, and the right hand.
Well, no, because he's also left-handed.
Oh, brother. Yeah. Undrafted.
Yeah, and mind you, I do have, because there's not many successful left-handed, but college-wise, listen, I'm willing to stay with my stud, JKS. So I'm a big fan of him. I highly doubt that he's going to be a Heisman like player at the end of the year, but it's a notable guy that I want to make because as a true freshman doing that, like absolute stud. I know Michigan, the Michigan fans are probably getting on me because their true freshman looked really good as well too. The number 1 overall prospect, true freshman this year. On Underwood, I think he threw for 250 some yard passes. Like, he was looking pretty decent too. But the fact that, JKS played against a conference opponent or a notable good team and looked that well off the rip as a true freshman, like, shows to me that, and I'm giving him an A-. I give Jaden a B- for the Heisman report card week 1. Now,
can I propose a player?
Yeah, go ahead.
Arizona State's wide receiver Jordan Tyson.
He was an absolute stud.
12 catches, 141 yards, 2 scores. They beat up on the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks 38-19. But Jordan Tyson is the man. Looked really good.
Notable NFL, a legit NFL prospect as well too. I think he's like wide receiver 1 to some people.
Should be.
He looks like an absolute stud. I showed you a highlight of his that he made like a ridiculous catch to that.
Yeah, I couldn't watch for whatever reason. I can't remember what I was doing last night.
But Arizona, and I would say Arizona State's like your team ish that you're kind of following this year.
I got 2. The Gophers and them. The Gophers, they won their game. No Heisman. Actually, Darius Taylor was all right. The running back.
So, but
but
it's
no,
also going to Tyson. Like, he was really good this game. The only issue that I have with like putting him on Heisman hopeful is the fact that it's a wide receiver. Like, he would have to do like 2,000 yards receiving.
he's not gonna do that.
And now, grant nothing's impossible. Like, but also, no offense to like Devontae Smith when he won it, it has to be also a lackluster Heisman race too, because
Hey, listen, the top 2 guys had shitty weeks this week.
yeah, which is true. But it's also like guys like John Mateer like just went off. Like, it'd be one thing that if all these guys I listed all kind of just like didn't do over 200 yards, and then it's like, okay, like Jordan Tyson had like a ridiculous game, then I would be like, okay, Jordan Tyson's like the number 1 guy right now. And also, if he does well, that also means his quarterback does well, and his quarterback would probably be a little bit higher on the Heisman hopeful list as well too. He's also a little bit of a stud too. I kind of like him on the dual threat action as well too, but he also didn't have like a really good shaky first game. Arizona State, they have a really good offense, just not a good offensive line. But Jordan, what's his name? Is it Jordan Tyson?
Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, that dude's a legit stud. I'm a big fan of his. Like,
him and Sam Levitt are going to be a pretty impressive QB wide receiver duo to watch.
Oh yeah, I think like that's a really good core to watch in college football right now. Like, those two, absolutely stud. Another notable guy on here that I probably didn't put on here that Gunnar Stockton for UGA just did what a UGA quarterback should do. Honestly, just keep it simple. Your team is way talented around you. Just don't make the mistakes. And he looked really good. Carson Beck that we just watched here actually was very notable against Notre Dame as we were recording this episode. He looked pretty good. Over 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns with a 3-point win against notable Notre Dame. So he's coming up. But also, it wasn't like how do I say that? Watching him play, it's not like he did win them the game, but I would still say that it wasn't like he took up. Like, Garrett Nussmeier won the game for LSU. John Mateer won the game. Like, same thing with like JKS at Cal, won the game. Like, his stat line is very reflective on how good that team actually operated. Tommy Castellanos would probably be in that middle tier of like, I don't know. Like, yes, his stats won the game, but also their rushing attack was just that much better against a very, I don't know, like Alabama's defense is now a little bit questionable, I would say, having Florida State run as well as they did. But